I've made the case before that attention is our most valuable resource, even more so than time, because our attention is what shapes our experience with the reality. It's what drives our interactions with the world. And to illustrate just how important attention is, I've made these connections before, so let's see if you can follow this logic. So if the purpose of spirituality is to awaken, so spirituality is awakening, it's awakening to something bigger than yourself, or higher than yourself, however you want to think about it. And if awakening is becoming more aware of something that you were previously unconscious to. Okay, so if spirituality is awakening is awareness, what fills your awareness is your attention. And so if that is a base layer of spirituality that shapes our experience with reality, it is incredibly important, okay? And that's kind of where I left you on one of my videos a couple months ago. I'll link to it somewhere on the screen. But I think the real question is now, how do we become more aware of what we are paying attention to? How do we become aware of our attention? And recently I heard an idea that really helped me understand attention a little bit more. It was an awakening to something more fundamental to our attention, and therefore to, our awareness, our awakening, and our spirituality. And the idea was that the tool that we hold shapes the way that we experience reality. And how it does that is the tool that you hold dictates what you pay attention to. So there was a metaphor that went along with it, and it was, if you are walking through a forest with an axe, you're going to see the forest in a certain way. If you're walking through a forest with a gun, you're going to see the forest in a certain way. Or if you're holding a camera, or a magnifying glass, or a shovel, whatever you're holding in your hands is going to dictate what you are paying attention to and how you perceive and experience the things around you. And I think there's a broader application of this concept to life in general, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and how we are carrying tools with us that shape how we are experiencing reality. And so what tools are we holding as we walk through this life? Are we holding the logic of atheism? Do we hold the dogma of religion, or the emotional trauma from our childhood, or the curiosity of mysticism, the despair of loss, the joy of gratitude, the greed of capitalism, the defensiveness of fear, the pessimism of rumination, or the purpose that comes from deep meaning? There are so many things that we can carry with us emotionally, mentally, spiritually, that dictate how we are experiencing reality. And going back to that forest metaphor, I was recently working in my yard, and I was holding like a long knife, and I was cutting down branches. It was kind of like a machete kind of knife. And before I knew it, I had cut down way too many branches. It was, when I had a machete, everything needed to be cut. It's like that old adage that says, when you're holding a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And so if I am feeling shame and I'm holding the idea, the belief that I am a bad person, then everything that I do is a confirmation that I'm a bad person. And it fuels additional actions that prove to myself that I'm a bad person. The tool of shame is the same thing as carrying an axe through the woods, or a gun through the woods, or a magnifying glass through the woods. However you want to see it, that's what shame did to me. And so I think what this whole idea should teach us is that being aware of the tool that we are carrying is going to dramatically shift our spiritual life, our mental life, and our emotional life. All of that into a more well-rounded sense of well-being. I mean, throughout this life, we're going to inevitably have moments where we are carrying a tool that we do not want to carry. We're going to carry negative tools that aren't making our life better. And that's to be expected. We're human. We're going to experience loss and carry the tool of despair that shapes and colors our experience of reality. That, like I said, that's to be expected. But I think the key here is that a lot of us will carry these tools and be completely unaware of it. And we'll carry them for months, years, decades. And before we know it, this tool has caused so much destruction in our lives. And so the question is, or the point here is, how do we become aware and stay aware of the tools that we're carrying? And I think we've all experienced kind of like a catalyst in our lives where we've done something or arrived somewhere or hit like a metaphorical rock bottom where we've realized and awakened that what we are doing is so far removed, it is so alien to our higher selves that it has caused us in a moment to wake up to this, to realize that we are not being who we know we should be, or not even that we should be, we're not being who we really are. And so the higher question is then, how do we avoid rock bottoms? Because I think we all want to avoid rock bottoms. And I think, it's easier said than done, but it's also very simple. And it's the simple things that we often fail to do or fail to find time for. And that would be things like prayer and meditation and moments of stillness where we're able to reflect. Because those moments of reflection are going to open doors for us. I've talked before about the power of ritual, and I think rituals are often set in place to give us opportunities to reflect. And so many of us who have left religion often leave behind ritual. And I think finding a ritual that works for you, that allows you to open that door of reflection more often than not, gives us the ability to stay more aware. And for the people who haven't left religion, who continue to attend, make sure that the rituals that you're participating in are actually serving a purpose, that they're actually waking you up and keeping you awake to the things that are most important. So the idea of finding time and to meditate or to conduct rituals or do something to keep us awake is so that we will continue to be aware of the tools that we're carrying. Because the tools that we are carrying dictate what we are paying attention to. And so as a non-expert here, what I'm trying to do is deconstruct spirituality. What I want to do is find the most beneficial way to understand spirituality. And like I said, I'm not an expert, but this is the way that I'm seeing it, and it's been very helpful to me. So that's honestly why I'm sharing it, so looking at what we have talked about today is that the tools that we carry influence what we're paying attention to. And what we pay attention to fills our awareness. What fills our awareness is what we are waking up to, and that's what spirituality is. I tried to do that in reverse order, and I don't think I've done that before, so that might not have made sense, but I hope this was interesting to you, because I really feel like there's something here. I really feel like the metaphor that I talked about what you're carrying through the forest dictates what you see in the forest. It dictates how you experience the forest, and the same is true with reality. So anyways, like I said, I hope this was interesting. If it was, stick around. I'll catch you in the next video.